Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And today's video is going to be a good one. We've had a lot of news come out today. As of today, it is Monday the 25th, and we've had a bunch of Uprising news. We've had ban restricted announcements come out, so the channel is going to be super busy the next few days. I may put the gameplays that I've been doing, the commoner gameplays, back just a day or two, just until we get through all these videos. But I'm going to try to put all my thoughts and everything about everything that came out today in the next 2 days for you all, so y'all can at least get my opinion and we can have some good discussions. So it'll be great. The first video I want to do is kind of more the fun one, is talk about some of the new cards that have been revealed. I've been wanting to wait a little bit to do this because I knew some more cards are going to be revealed eventually, and I didn't want to make a video like talking about like 3 or 4 cards. And we have about 13 cards today, counting the heroes. So we'll get to talk about them and go over it, and see what y'all's thoughts are. I'd really love to know. So for the first one, it's a Draconic Optimi. I guess Optimi is the way you would say it. It's a Draconic ally, which we've already seen that Draconic Illusionist is going to be a thing now. This is one of the most recent cards to be revealed, and it's similar to like Ursa in Chain and stuff like that, to where it's an ally, and it reads, whenever it attacks a hero, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. He deals arcane damage equal to twice the number of red cards revealed this way to them or an ally they control. Now this is pretty nuts. I want to know what the and it has 6 health, right? So it has 6 health. It doesn't regen, it looks like, on turns like the other one does in Chain, but it's still really good. It attacks for 6 every turn that you want it to. It doesn't look like that go again or anything like that either. So it, it does have some drawbacks, but overall, like, if you attack with this card and you reveal 3 red cards, right? Because it deals arcane damage equal to twice the number of red cards you reveal. So if you reveal all 3 red cards, this thing's going to hit for 6 physical and 6 and 6 arcane. So it's going to hit for 12. So which is just, I mean, that by itself, like you're nuts, right? Of what you can do. What it's going to be interesting to see is like, how hard is this to get into the battlefield, right? Because having to get chains into the battlefield is pretty difficult to do with Eclipse and stuff like that. So it's gonna be interesting to see, what they do with this and how they, what is the kind of conditions to get this on the field. Because even though it doesn't have go again, even though it doesn't regen its health or anything like that, it is an insane card, dealing 12 damage, right? Essentially on max. At the minimum, it's gonna deal 6. Which is still really good. At the max, it's going to deal 12, and on an okay turn, it's going to deal 8 to 10. So pretty nuts, is the way I'm looking at it. And the alt art, I mean, look at that. I mean, that's just, it is the marveled, so the marveled's going to be nuts. Like the regular is just the majestic, and then the alt art's the marveled. So that's going to be just so much fun to see, and I'm super excited for that card. The next one we have is Cold Snap. It's an ice action. There's a lot of ice actions in this deck. And not in this deck, but in this set, that Icelander obviously is going to be a big hit. We'll talk about her in a second. A big deal about this deck, being one of the 3 heroes that's been revealed so far. I love Icelander. I can't wait to see her in CC and play her in CC. I'm still a ninja at heart, but Icelander is someone that I've had fun with in Blitz. I've been playing with in Blitz just with friends and stuff like that. So with some of these cards, along with just how good she was, and people are starting to understand who she is anyway, and CC, I think she's going to be really good. But the target hero may pay 1 resource. If they don't, they freeze a card in their arsenal or ally they control until the start of the next turn. So obviously, like this could counter Dracona, because what it does is if they don't pay 1, Dracona is basically turned off, and their arsenal's turned off, which is really a big deal, right? This can be used against Guardian decks, right? Because their arsenal, like they can't use it or anything like that. It'd be good against any deck that has a 5-card hand. If it was played from arsenal, you draw a card, it only costs 1. It's just a really good kind of delay based card. It's perfect in Icelander's archetype. The artwork reminds me of like Game of Thrones esque type artwork, and it's really cool. I'm really enjoying this. This is a common too, guys. Like this isn't even a rare or a majestic or anything like that. Like this is a common. It's a pretty powerful common, like, to be honest with you, right? I guess at blue it'll be 1, probably yellow it's gonna be 2, and red it's gonna pay 3. It's a block 2, so I definitely could see you running this at blue and yellow, maybe even red if you have, like, you're going full fatigue. But overall, I think in certain matchups, I think the blue is going to be worth it, and the red or the yellow is going to be worth it. Yellow might actually be the sweet spot for this card, to be honest with you. For the next one, we have Thaw. It's a Draconic action. It's an attack action. While Thaw is in your graveyard, so it's originally it's a cost 2 at Majestic, at red. Cost 2, attacks for 6, so it's a 2 for 6 without go again. So there's that, right? This is going to obviously go with the illusionist hero that we're seeing, and maybe go with someone else, who knows. But while Thaw is in your graveyard at the start of your turn, you may banish it and choose one. Destroy a target Frostbite, destroy a target Ice Affliction, or unfreeze a target Frozen card. So this is obviously meant to go against Icelander, basically, and it's going to play into kind of that war like Uprising feel that we're going to talk about with how Uprising is going with that illusionist, Draconic illusionist hero going against, right, Icelander going against the ninja and stuff like that. So this is meant to kind of combat those heroes, but also just be a 2 for 6 as well. Playing this maybe at the end of your turn or something like that, at 2 for 6, and then it's basically sitting in your graveyard helping you out, and it'll be really good against a card that we're going to talk about here in a second, in just a second. So Hypothermia, this is an affliction aura, so attacks you control can't get and go again. This does not affect attacks that naturally have go again. At the beginning of your end phase, destroy Hypothermia. So if an attack doesn't already have go again, it can't gain go again, which means like this would be good at what I think of, and this goes into an opponent's control, right? What I think of is, right, one, this is what like Thaw is good for, because Thaw can get rid of this affliction. But what this also is good for is against heroes like Briar, right? So if Briar gets a lightning token, because that attack did not naturally have go again, it can't gain go again. So if Briar does a nimbleism into something else and tries to give snatch go again, this affliction will prevent that. So it's going to be able to do that. It's going to prevent Chain from giving his go agains, right? Because they're not going to gain go again if they don't already have it. It's going to be a card that already has go again. So it's going to be really good against some of these aggro decks. Even Katsu is going to have a little bit of issue with this, because all his combo stars will still be turned on, but any of his combo cards like Leg Tap and a Rising Knee Thrust will not get go again. So as long as this card's in the battlefield. So it definitely has a lot of use case. I can see why it's Majestic at blue. It is a block 2. It's interesting. A lot of these like regular action cards are low in block. I understand most time attack actions are 3 and non-attacks are block 2, but at Majestic, I thought maybe it would be a block 3, just, similar to how like Force of Nature is for Briar. But this card's going to be really good against a lot of those aggro decks and a lot of those decks that are trying to, do something, even against Prism, right? Like with her yellow pitch, like this was played in an Illusionist mirror. Not Illusionist mirror, but Icelander against like Prism. It's going to be really good to prevent Prism from using Luminaris to give her attacks go again. So really good card. Definitely a must have, I think, in most decks, especially in the sideboard against like any aggro decks. One of my favorite cards. I love this card. It's similar to Scour. So it's Frost Hex. So Icelander specialization only can have one on your deck, or only can have it if Icelander is your hero. Sorry. It's an affliction and enters the arena under your opponent's control. Frostbites you control have at the beginning of your end phase, deals 1 arcane damage to you. Basically, like, they need to get rid of this thing. And what I haven't seen with afflictions yet, and I'm not 100% sure, is like how you get rid of afflictions, because it says an affliction enters the arena under opposing hero's control, and there's got to be a way of getting rid of afflictions or cleansing afflictions, because basically if you're playing a hero against Icelander and you have no way of getting rid of this thing, then it's, as long as she can create frostbites, which she creates them all the time, right? It's going to make your life horrible, and she's just going to bleed you out. So I think people with this card alone are going to have something in their sideboard against Icelander to deal with afflictions. If there's my guess is there's going to be some type of generic card that can help get rid of afflictions. There's got to be. It can't be class specific. Otherwise, like, this card is just going to be stupid, stupid good. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but it's just, that's how I read it, is if you don't have some way of cleansing the affliction, then you're just going to keep getting killed. Because if she can create 2-3 frostbites a turn, which isn't that hard, you might even with this card start seeing some like more offensive Icelanders with like attack actions. Like imagine playing like Chill the Bone with like Frostfang and stuff like that, or something. I don't know. That's just a random combination, but something to where you're giving their opponent Frostbites with this card in their arena. You're gonna start to really ping some damage. So I'm really excited. It's my favorite card so far out of all the Icelander-ish cards. So really excited to see that one. The next one, Iceternal, another Icelander specialization. It's Ice Fusion. Create X Frostbite tokens under target hero's control. Then, if Iceternal was fused, deal arcane damage to that hero equal to the number of Frostbites they control. So, this card is actually going to be dumb. Like, actually going to be dumb. Because what this card does, it's a wizard action. So, we can unpack so many things with this card. One, it's going to already completely work perfectly with Frost Hex, right? Frost Hex can be played from your arsenal at instant speed because it's an affliction aura. And it's not an attack action. So you can play it on their turn at instant speed, right? Then you can play this at the same time. And imagine a world where you have, and I'm just spitballing here, where you have Frost Hex in arsenal, you have Iceternal in your hand, and you have 3 blues with an E-Pot. So, like, you could essentially pitch a blue, play a Frost Hex, right? Give them a Frostbite token. Then you have 2 blues and an E-Pot left. Then you pitch the 2 blues, play your E-Pot. That's 8 resources. Create 8 Frostbites. Or you can even not do, because you have to keep 1 to fuse. So there's true. You have 2 options. You could either keep 1 to fuse. So you do the E-Pot and pitch a blue. That's 5 Frostbites. You use the last card to fuse with, right? So it deals 5 arcane damage to them. They've been dealt a Frostbite create a Frostbite token from playing from Arsenal, playing the Frost Hex from Arsenal. Then you just create another 5 Frostbite tokens from this, dealt 5 arcane damage. They basically, their turn is blanked. And then, because you played Frost Hex on their turn, at the beginning of your end phase, deal 1 arcane damage to you, which Frostbites you control. Which means if they do not crack those Frostbites, it's going to deal another 5 arcane damage, right? So you play Frost Hex from Arsenal, pitch a blue, you pitch another blue with your E-Pot, which is another 5 for Iceternal. So now they've created 6 Frostbites. You fuse, you just dealt 5 arcane damage. If they don't pop those 6 Frostbites, they somehow can't pay for something, then they're going to get another 6 arcane damage dealt to them at the end of the turn because of Frost Hex. That's a very confusing, crazy way of, like, spitbally way of this interaction, but that, like, this is insane. And this is rare. This isn't even a majestic. Like, the interactions that Icelander is going to have is actually insane to me. I'm super excited for it. So that's just one iteration with that card. But overall, this card's nuts. Like, even without the fuse, it's nuts. Like, you have an E-Pot and 3 blues in hand, and you can literally play this on your turn and give them freaking, like, yeah, if you have 3 E-Pot and a blue, whatever, like, you can create 5 Frostbite tokens under their control. End it. Like, it's nuts. It's nuts. But like, yeah, like that. Sorry, one more thing about this card. Like, that's even the simpler thing. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, you could, if you had an E-Pot and you have a blue on your turn, you just play this, fuse it, create 5 Frostbite tokens, deal 5 arcane damage. In your turn, they have 5 Frostbite tokens. Like, so nutty what you can do with these cards. Just pretty crazy. So next one is Icebind. It's at common. It's Ice Fusion. Deal 1 arcane damage to any target. If Icebind was fused, that deals damage to a hero. Freeze a card in their arsenal until the end of the next turn. Just another way to hurt cards that value 5 card hands. It's block 3 at common. I'm assuming it's gonna come in red, and I don't know how the interaction would change from red to yellow. I guess it would deal 1, deal 2, deal 3 arcane damage, probably, is my guess. But we'll see. Next one is Incase, Ice Fusion. Deal 3, it's an elemental wizard action. Deal 3 arcane damage to any target. If Incase was fused and deals damage to a hero, freeze that hero and all equipment they control until the start of your next turn. Just another way of delay. It's pretty nuts. It's at Majestic. Then Icelander. So we're gonna get into the heroes. Like, she looks awesome. Like, she's a classic constructed hero now. She's gonna be disgusting. I'm telling you, like, it's gonna be nuts. Like, I don't think she's gonna. I don't know how, like, the level of how broke or how good she's gonna be yet, but her cards are just amazing. I mean, this is truly the first hero we've had where control makes sense, and it's actually interactive, and you're actually having a game plan and doing something. Because, like, it's no secret, I'm a ninja player. Oldheim sucks. I hate Oldheim, not just because the game, just not because I'm a ninja player and it's a big feels bad, but because Oldheim is not fun to play against, and in my opinion, he's not fun to play. There's no interacting, there's no nothing. It's just him decking you out, right? But he's not playing the game while doing it. He's just crown of seeding and blocking and shielding and whatever. Like, it's just a boring, stupid mechanic, and I hate it. This allows you to actually interact with your opponent, give them frostbites, deal arcane damage, delay while also attacking, using you different cards and different interactions. Super fun. So I'm super excited for Icelander and Classic Constructed. I think she's the first true form of control that is played the way control should be played in Flesh and Blood, right? So that's just my opinion. Next one is Channel Bleak Expanse. This is the ice action aura at Majestic. Has go again. Heroes can't reveal cards, search decks, or draw cards from effects. And it's a channel ice, so basically you put counters on it and you can keep it in play as long as you can pitch for it. This card is going to, if you're Chain, Briar, Katsu, who else? Who else searches a lot? Trying to think off the top of my head, right? Starvo, even though he's probably not going to be in the game. Lexi. Anyway, it's reveal or searching or drawing, your turn's like screwed. Especially Chain, Katsu, and Lexi. They're going to hate their life on against this card. Just going to hate it. Just hate it. It's going to change so many interactions, and it's such a good card. I can see why it's at Majestic. Next one's Ice Bolt. It's a common. Deal 3 arcane damage to any target. Right? If it goes to... I mean, my thought is, though, at red, this is going to be a 2 for 5. So it's going to be basically the Voltic Bolt of Icelander. Really good. Then Icelander here. One thing I wanted to point out about how she looks in her new Blitz art is she looks different than the original, right? I don't think I have it like on me at this very second, but like her, I just wanted to show in the art fan one who's not aware what Icelander actually looks like in the regular art. But what I'm trying to say is, like, she looks so much different, and I think it's going to give, I think LSS is really going to play around with time frames of when heroes were and active and stuff like that. And I'll have some tinfoil hat theories and some future videos on it, but it's really cool to see how they, like, this is young her, obviously. I think the Icelander they showed originally, like the first set of Icelander that we've seen, is kind of her like middle age, like she's starting to slowly become a part of the arcane or whatever. And then the final Icelander that we saw is her older. So, but like if you go back to this one, like how she looks right there compared to how she looks almost like in the original Icelander, you know, she looks kind of like sickly or like almost like the Night King-esque, whereas this, she still looks human. So it's interesting to see how they've played with the timelines and kind of changed it based off that. But yep. And then we have Icebind, which I think we already went over, and then Draconic. So the cards are really awesome. I'm really excited where they're going with this. We're going to talk about the ninja that got revealed right in the future video. We're going to talk about the illusionist. We're going to talk about more about Icelander and see what she does. I love saying it that way. But yeah, super excited about the set. The artwork is amazing. The aesthetic is amazing. I hope LSS knocks this out of the park, because the reveals and what they've talked about so far has got everyone talking. So super big shout out to them and the hard work they're doing. I hope it continues and everything's positive from here on out. But yeah, if y'all enjoyed this, I'm gonna be doing a lot of videos on the Uprising stuff in the next 2 or 3 days. So please check it out. Let me know what your thoughts are. I want to know what the community's thoughts are on it, good and bad and indifferent. If you like the content, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. If not, go to Nerf Flesh Bug Career, do the same thing for them so we get more people seeing this game. And I'll see you guys next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much.